Bienvenidos a la primera clase de este curso de inglés intermedio completamente gratis. I upload a new video every Monday and Thursday, so please subscribe to my channel. And don't forget you can join the Facebook group to download all of my presentations. Today we're starting intermediate level. And these are the topics that we are going to study. So you can see here, my instructions and my speaking is going to be 80% English and 20% Spanish, okay? I am going to speak English much more in this intermediate level than Spanish in the past, okay? So these are the 9 classes that we are going to study in intermediate level. The topic today is tag questions, and I will explain in a moment. Explicaré en un momento. Then we're going to look at present perfect, but in the continuous form. We already studied present perfect. Ya vimos esto, presente perfecto. But now we're going to look at present perfect continuous. We already studied past, and now we're going to study both past continuous and past perfect. So how to say yo hacía algo o había hecho algo. We're going to study indefinite pronouns, somebody, something, somewhere, nowhere, nothing, nobody, anywhere, anybody, etc. We're going to study phrasal verbs, which is a topic which many Spanish speakers find difficult or challenging, retador. We're going to study relative clauses, passive voice, and finally we're going to study 4 different types of conditionals. This is the intermediate level of my English course. So today we are going to study tag questions. And first of all, we're going to look at tag questions in different tenses and tag questions in the affirmative or negative. What do I mean by tag questions? Okay, in Spanish when you say fuiste no, ese no convierte lo afirmativo en pregunta, no? So that no changes an affirmative sentence into a question. So you say, you went, right? Or fuiste, no? Well, in English, we also use tag questions, but there are lots of different ways to do it, okay? So this topic is relatively simple and relatively easy to understand to start intermediate level, okay? So let's do a quick review, un repaso breve. Here we have 7 different tenses that we have studied, que hemos estudiado. 7 different tenses that we have studied. And here's some example sentences, okay? For present, he likes Shakira. Present continuous, you are watching Netflix. Past, they bought Indian food. Present perfect, we have spoken about it. Future with will, I'll call again tomorrow. I'll call again tomorrow. Future with going to, she's going to try harder. And a modal verb, for example, he can swim. What's the normal way of making a question? So we have studied all of these tenses before. Now I want to know what is the normal way of making questions. So for example, in present tense, he likes Shakira. What is a question form of this? Okay, 3, 2, 1, here's the answer. Does he like Shakira? Remember we use the auxiliary verb, does he? For present continuous, the auxiliary verb is already here, okay? So we can say, are you watching Netflix? Or what are you watching? They bought Indian food. What's the auxiliary questions for past? Do you remember? Did they buy Indian food is a classic question form. We have spoken about it. Here we have the auxiliary, so we know we're going to start this question with this. Have we spoken about it? I'll call again tomorrow. We're just going to flip the order. Will I instead of I will. And again, she is changes to is she. And he can changes to can he. Okay, so these are the classic question forms that we have studied. Ya hemos estudiado esto. En afirmativo y en preguntas. So there are different ways of making questions, and it's a lot easier. I could use these original sentences and then I could just say, right? So I could say, for example, he likes Shakira, right? You're watching Netflix, right? They bought Indian food, right? Yeah, they bought Indian food, right? Or he can swim, right? These are two perfectly good questions in English. So it's an easier way to make questions. Es una manera más fácil de hacer preguntas. Le agregas right. Como ustedes en español dicen, ¿verdad? Compraron comida hindú, ¿verdad? Puede nadar, ¿verdad? He can swim, right? But a tag question uses a little part of the grammar. So here we have some examples. These tag questions, they tag on, se adjuntan al final de una afirmación, okay? So it changes it into a question. He likes Shakira, doesn't he? So we can't actually say in English, he likes Shakira. No. That sounds very Spanglish, right? It's very Spanish. He likes Shakira, no? You're watching Netflix, no? It sounds very, very Spanglish, okay? So don't do it. You have to use a tag question. I mean, you can say right. Pueden decir right. Es la manera más fácil. Or use a tag question. And the tag question comes from the grammar. He likes Shakira, doesn't he? You're watching Netflix. Which one is it going to be? Which one is it? You are watching Netflix. Select one. 3, 2, 1. Aren't you, right? It's the same grammar, but it's negative. You can see the differences, right? He likes Shakira, doesn't he? You are watching Netflix, aren't you? So it's affirmative becomes negative. They bought Indian food. Didn't they? They bought Indian food, didn't they? We have spoken about it. Haven't we? We have spoken about it, haven't we? I will call again tomorrow, won't I? It's kind of a strange one because you're asking yourself a question. Un ejemplo con yo es un poco extraño, ¿no? Porque te estás preguntando a ti misma una cosa. She's going to try harder, isn't she? Again, we're using the is, but we're using it in negative. He can swim, can't he? So basically you can see a pattern, right? If the sentence is affirmative, then the tag question is going to be negative. So for example, all of these examples here, he likes, you are, they bought, we have, I'll call, she's going to, he can. These are all affirmative. So the tag question is negative. It's negative for everybody. The same is true vice versa. So here we can see the examples, but now I have some examples in negative. So what I want you to do is to try and take this negative statement and add an affirmative tag question using the same grammar, okay? Here are the answers. So stop the video if you want to. 3, 2, 1. You don't care, do you? He isn't exercising, is he? She didn't like it, did she? They haven't been there, have they? It won't rain tomorrow, will it? We're not going to meet, are we? I shouldn't go, should I? So these are all affirmative tag questions because the statement is originally negative. Now, remember, all of these tag questions are important to understand because you will hear them. Las vas a escuchar, entonces es importante entenderlas. But in speaking, you can just say right, okay? Cuando están hablando pueden solo decir right. Para todos. It won't rain tomorrow, right? He isn't exercising, right? They bought Indian food, right? Everything is possible with right. But it sounds more elegant to use a tag question, and it's very common for you to hear people using. Let's try some exercises. In the description, at point number 1, I put 4 different activities for you to practice tag questions. Some are easy and some are more difficult. Here's an example. So this is the activity page, and this is mixed, so it's different tenses, okay? Some of the other activities in the description are just present or just past, but this is a mix. So you have, for example, present continuous, present simple, past simple, present perfect down here, future. So here's an example. She didn't enjoy it, did she? So the first one, it's raining. Okay, the verb is, it's affirmative, so it's going to be a negative is, isn't it. Okay, isn't it would be the answer. They are at home. Okay, it's are is the verb that we're going to change into negative, aren't, and the people we're talking about are they, aren't they. Finish the activity and I will see you in a moment. I hope that went well. Let's continue with the class. So now we're moving from tag questions, which is a fairly simple, fairly easy concept, to reflexive pronouns, which also is relatively easy, okay? Reflexive pronouns. So in basic level, we studied subject pronouns before the verb, object pronouns after the verb, right? But now we are studying reflexive pronouns. You have probably seen these. They are myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, although it's very uncommon, ourselves, it's plural, so it's vs, not f, ourselves, yourselves, and themselves. So, we use reflexive pronouns as an object when the object is the same as the subject, okay? For example, if I say to you, careful, you might cut yourself. For example, if you are working with a knife, una navaja, I say, careful, you might cut yourself. So, you might cut you. The object pronoun for you is you. But because the object is the same as the subject, you can see it's the same, we use yourself. If I ask you a question, who is teaching you English? And you say, I am teaching me, that would be incorrect because me is the same as I. You're both the same person, so we need to use a reflexive pronoun for the object, okay? I am teaching myself. For everybody else, of course, si yo estuviera enseñando a otra persona, podría decir I'm teaching him, I'm teaching her, I'm teaching them. It's not a problem. But if it's the same person, the subject and the object is the same person, then we use a reflexive pronoun. So here are some examples of verbs like teach, that we just saw an example of teach, and we saw the example of cut. These are verbs which are very commonly used with reflexive pronouns because they are normally things that you can do to yourself, okay? Son cosas que tú puedes hacer a ti mismo. For example, amuse, como entretener, blame, culpar, cut, cortar, dry es secar, help, ayudar, hurt, doler o lastimar, introduce, presentar, kill, matar, preparar, prepare, and teach, enseñar. So I'll give you some more examples. Here are more examples for you. The children amuse themselves with the iPad. So amuse, entertain, entretener. Se entretienen. The children amuse themselves. So because they are doing it to them, we can't say the children amuse them. It's the same person, so themselves. Don't blame yourself. You, this is an imperative, so the you is not here, but it's implied, okay? Es un imperativo, entonces you no aparece aquí, pero es la implicación que no te culpes a ti mismo. Don't blame yourself. You can dry yourself with that towel. Secarte. Tú puedes secarte. You can dry you would be incorrect. You can dry yourself. Help yourself es otro imperativo. Help yourself en este caso significa toma lo que quieras, no significa ayúdate. Es como que bienvenido, toma lo que quieras de la mesa. Help yourself. Help yourself to some wine. If he does that, he will hurt himself. Si él hace eso, él solito se va a lastimar o se va a lastimar a sí mismo. He will hurt himself. Él hace daño, lastima a él, ¿no? Entonces vamos a decir himself. Let me introduce myself. Déjame presentarme. Yo me voy a presentar a mí, ¿no? Entonces, yo y me, I and me, we can't have them in the same sentence like this. Let me introduce myself. A lot of rock stars kill themselves. That's true. Muchos estrellas de rock se matan. They kill themselves. And finally, the students need to prepare themselves for the exam. Prepare themselves. Yep. Alistarse, prepararse para el examen. Prepare themselves. Here's an activity for you. I want you to use one of these. It's possible that you use the same one 2 times or 3 times, and some of these are not answers, okay? It could be any of these in these spaces. So for example, John decided to tattoo in prison. Well, John is a man, it's he, so it's going to be himself, I think, right? John decided to tattoo himself in prison. Okay, I'll give you a couple of seconds. Stop the video. I'm going to give you the answers, okay? 3, 2, 1. You both need to wash. You both, ambos de ustedes, entonces plural ustedes, yourselves, with soap. You're so dirty, están tan cochinos. The students wanted to kill when they saw the exam. So the students is they, it's going to be themselves. The students wanted to kill themselves when they saw the exam. If Sarah's not careful on that motorbike, she will hurt, she will hurt herself. Eric got a promotion, so he bought, Eric is a he bought himself a new car. As a team, we need to believe in, como equipo, necesitamos nosotros creer en nosotros mismos, ¿no? Ourselves. Let's do some exercises. Go to point number 2 in the description to do the activity. So there are 2 activity pages, okay? This is the first one. What you have to do is select the correct option. Robert made this t-shirt. Robert is a man, it's he, so it's going to be Robert made this t-shirt himself. Lisa did her homework. Lisa is a girl. Lisa did her homework herself. Solita, ella solita. The page for the second activity looks like this, okay? It's different options. Choose the correct answer. I hurt myself, because it's I and it's me. I hurt myself. It's the same pronoun, okay? She hurt. Okay, it can't be, it's not possible to say she hurt himself, because him is for a boy and she is for a girl. So the context of this sentence must be ella lo lastimó a él, ¿no? Him. No es a ella misma, ni mucho menos a él mismo, porque ella es niña. She hurt him. Es una trampa. Tienen que fijarse. Finish the activities and I will see you in a moment. I hope that went well. So that's everything I wanted to see today. Tag questions in different tenses, tag questions affirmative, negative, and reflexive pronouns. Now it's time for a song. So this is the song. It's a song called A Little Time. It's from the year 1990, and it's by a group called The Beautiful South. It's not a very good song, but it does have tag questions. So I want you to read the lyrics and look at the context. Look at the context, the grammar of the sentence. What tag question do you think will be the answer? For example, it is funny how quick the milk turns sour. Basically, this is a couple, and the two of them are talking about how their relationship finished and how they ended up hating each other. Como se acabaron odiando. So the man is singing, it's funny, es chistoso, how quick the milk turns sour. ¿Qué tan rápido se pudrió la leche? O se, ¿cómo se dice? Ay, no me acuerdo cómo se dice en español. I don't remember how to say it in Spanish, but cuando la leche ya no sirve, o sea, se cambia, se me fue por completo. Ya sí sé cómo decirlo, pero bueno, ni modo. It's figurativo, no? He's talking figuratively. The relationship is milk, and it's fresh, and then it turns sour. Sour, en este caso, es como amargo. La leche se vuelve amargo. It is funny how quick the milk turns sour. Isn't it? And he says it twice, but it's okay. Isn't it? Isn't it? Okay? Because the grammar is it is. So it isn't it. Okay? I'm going to give you a few seconds to stop the video. If you want, you can go and listen. The link for the video for the song is in the description. Try listening to the song and maybe you can recognize the tag question, okay? So here are the answers. So stop the video if you want to go and listen to the song. 3, 2, 1. Your face has been looking like that for hours. Your face has been looking like that for hours. Ha estado pareciéndose así tu cara durante horas. So has been, there's your auxiliary verb. And the answer is hasn't it. Okay? Has changes to hasn't. Promises turn to dust. Se convierten en polvo las promesas. Wedding bells just turn to rust. Las campanas de matrimonio se oxidan. Trust into mistrust. Confianza en desconfianza, ¿no? Again, the man is singing, you need a little room for your big head. Necesitas espacio para tu gran cabeza. Okay, so you need, that's present simple, so it's going to be don't you, okay? You will need a little space for 1,000 beds. Necesitarás espacio para 1,000 camas. No sé exactamente a qué se refiere. Tal vez 1,000 parejas, no sé. You will. So the tag question is going to be will negative, right? Which is won't. Won't you, won't you? And you had a little time and you had a little fun. Past tense. Didn't you? While you had yours, do you think I had none? Mientras tú tuviste lo tuyo, ¿crees que yo no tuve nada? Creo que están hablando de amantes. But this is past tense, but the question here is in present, right? Do you think? Do you think I had none? So this one breaks the rules a little bit because it's already a question. Ya es una pregunta. Y las demás tag questions se adjuntan a una oración afirmativa, ¿no? Do you think? Entonces sus tag aquí nada más está repitiendo do you. Porque ya es una pregunta, pues no es exactamente lo mismo. Eso es solo una repetición, la verdad. No es una tag question. The freedom that you wanted back is yours for good. La libertad que tú querías de vuelta es tuyo para siempre. Espero que estés feliz. De triste a no triste. Esta palabra de unsad no existe, la verdad. Pero bueno. Libertad de expresión. No es mi tipo de canción, pero bueno, no es desagradable tampoco. It's not my type of song, but it's not that bad. It's worth a listen. It's good for the grammar. So that's everything for Class 1 of intermediate level. Don't forget you can take the exam in the description to check your understanding of the class. Please subscribe to my channel if you like the content, and go to the Facebook group if you want to download the resources. Thanks for learning English with me, and I will see you next class.